Good morning, everyone. My name is Coach Lacy, and today I am coming at you with just a morning motivation. I just got done doing my morning journaling and my daily reading, and I got contemplating about a couple of things, and I just wanted to come share them with you. And it's not relevant to a certain day of the week or anything. So if you're just tuning in and you're seeing this, on February 6th, or you're seeing it December 6th, it won't matter. This is a little nugget of wisdom for that is pretty timeless. So I was just thinking about um, life, and like we're always contemplating, right? And life is usually the topic that most of us are thinking about, right? But I was thinking about life and loss and purpose and what self-development. Self-development has really been on my mind lately. And I came to this point in my life where I was very hungry for self-development in my early 20s, my early 30s. And I kind of read all the things. I've read the Four Agreements. I've read the 12 Rules for Life. I've read all the books. I've read all the things. The Mountain is You, all the books. Obstacle is the Way. Whatever self-development book there is, I've probably read most of them. I haven't, I can probably tell you what it's about. It's just been a lot. I read through The Course in Miracles, Byron Katie, all these things, Tony Robbins. I used to binge listen to Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, those types of people, Brandon Burchard, that sort of thing. And Abraham Hicks, a lot of people like Abraham Hicks. I came to this point in my journey where I kind of was predicting, I could kind of predict what so the book was going to say, what the advice was. And I went through this process that I created for my clients that I was trying to reconcile some grief that I had and work through some grief that I've had. And if you know me and you know my story, you know what I've gone through. So if you don't, I encourage you to go to my YouTube channel, Wellness with Watson, and there's a few videos there that talk about my story, because I don't really want to go into that today, because it's a lot. And anyways, it's not what I want to talk about, and I go off there. So, I'm thinking about self-development. I'm like, gosh, I've really just come to this place where it's very predictable. I need something. I'm very hungry. I'm very hungry. And my husband had been on a journey with his spirituality, and we've both been on quite a journey for spirituality. Um, and again, that's part of my story, but I will highlight that a bit here. So those of you who don't know me and are new to me, I used to be really heavy into New Age and witchcraft, and at one point I was a Satanist. Um, and I was just really into worshiping myself and very um, into anything that was counterculture or dark and mysterious, occult, everything occult, anything that had to do with the occult. I wanted to know about it. I read pretty much anything out there that has to do with the occult, magic, you name it. And I used to practice that sort of thing when I was a teenager. I used to carry around a book of the Satanic Bible, and the a copy of the Keys of Enoch and all these things. I used to carry these things around with me. And then as I got older, I got into like chaos magic is what they call it now. But like hermetics and high magic, and got into things like working with spirits like angels and demons and that sort of thing. And so then I got really into manifestation and the new age world, and all this while my family is very Christian, right? I come from a really Christian family, and they're all praying for me all the time in Wyoming. And I flirted a little bit with going to church. And I've always known God was there. I've always been very spiritual. That was the thing. I grew up Catholic, and then we went to a Protestant church. And when we made this switch, I remember thinking that the the music and the puppets were fruity as hell, and I just was not into it. And I was goth. Like we made the switch when I was like 10, I think, or actually like 14, we left, maybe around like 14, 15, we left the Catholic Church. And now my understanding of the Catholic Church is very different, and I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to cause I don't need to go into my conspiracy stuff, but it's not even a conspiracy, but I don't even need to go into it. But anyways, so my understanding is a lot more broadened. And if you need some context, you can go find Jay Dyer and watch him, and he'll explain it all. So if you really want to dive into it, I would say research orthodoxy, and go look up Jay Dyer as a starting place. But that being said, my knowledge had kind of led me to so where was I? Oh, so I was taken out of the Catholic Church and gone to a Protestant church, thought it was kind of fruity. And so I kind of went down a different road because I was Gothic and put two and two together, go to be Gothic, turn into a Satanist, of course, go to wicked, duh. Like duh. And so in the 90s, early 2000s, this is where we ended up. And um anyways, my point is I've had a lot of spiritual walks. And I ended up at this place in spiritual self-development, and I had been going to a couple different churches here locally. And um, I just decided to dive into my Bible study a couple of months ago, like a year ago. And I went through a mentorship called Flourish with my mentor, Leanna, and a couple other girls, Priscilla and Katie. I love them. And it was through my church. And it was just a really cool, wonderful experience. And we would meet and gather every month. And we'd go over the book that we were reading and the scriptures in the Bible study. And it started to change me in a way just through reading the scriptures. And it was kind of like what I was looking for. And I saw my husband, he started doing Bible study as well. And he really started diving into it, but he was doing something a little different. And him and I started doing a Bible study together on the daily Bible app. And through the course of this time, my perception has changed of certain things, and my perception of life and of magic as it is, and manifestation, if you will, and how you create your life is completely changed. And I, I'm someone that believes that you can create your reality, absolutely, indefinitely. But the way that it's being taught all over the place, online is it's inaccurate and it's missing a piece. And from what I can see, um, well, I'll put this lightly so I don't trigger anyone. So in Satanism, so there's a couple different types of like Satanism, and then there's Luciferianism, and then there's like witchcraft. So in Satanism, like Satanism, Antoine LaVey Satanism, you are your own God. You are your own God. You are the designer of your life. You are the one that puts it out there, and you're your own God. You are your own God. You design it, right? Yes, God and the devil are concepts, but you are your own God. Like you are the creator of your life. And um, in manifestation, in like New Age, we'll call it New Age. I don't even know if people really understand, because a lot of people in like the the magic world, they they all say, "Oh, I know Jesus. Oh, I know Jesus is my homeboy," and blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, if you knew Jesus, you'd read your Bible, right? And then you'd understand what you're doing. So, and you'd understand that the power in magic actually is not using it, right? And so that's where I kind of come to this other side where the power of magic's not using it because, well, number one, all magic comes with a price, and number two, magic is just frequency and energy, and so we have to be careful because look, here's the thing, everything. We're all participating in magic at every given moment. This right here, me being right here, this is magic. So this is frequency and vibration, and you use what do you put like how is a computer put together, right? Rocks, right? Like rocks like lithium, metal, plastic. These are all made from elements, right? So elements, frequency, and vibration. Okay, are we up to speed here? Elements, frequency, and vibration. So all of you Christians out there who are like, yoga, blah, all these things, blah, like, shut up. Who cares? Like, we are all participating in witchcraft. If you have a phone, you watch TV, you're on a computer, you're participating in witchcraft. Shut the fuck up. Oh, wait, cuss. Ooh. Right? Like, we're all learning and growing, right? Like, no one's perfect. It's what you strive for. But it's how we use these things, right? So it's like how it's the intention behind things, and it's how you connect with God. So, being said, we're going back to self-development manifestation. Self-development, there's this thought process behind self-development that you were the one propelling your life. You're in charge of everything, right? Like you're the one manifesting, you're putting the intention out there. What do you want? It's all about you. It's not all about you. You didn't create yourself. Hear me when I say that, ladies and gentlemen. You didn't create yourself. Did you? Did you create yourself? Okay. Now, is the world all about you? No? Is it all about what you want? No. Okay. All right. We're up to speed. So, what what then do we do with that? What do we do with that? We then that's where the Bible comes in, right? That's where the Bible comes in. Basic instructions before leaving Earth, right? Right. It's not just some book that old men wrote. No, 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 no. Ignorance. Ignorance. That is an ignorant statement of someone who is deflecting and doesn't want to get into it, who doesn't have the time or the energy or the want, and they just want what they want, and they just want to be who they want to be, and they just want to be the center of attention and be main character syndrome. We are not the main character here. God is the main character here. Okay. The story is about God, and that is why it's centered around Jesus Christ. If you haven't gotten there yet, fine, whatever. Like if you're like Jewish, whatever. My sister-in-law is Jewish, like she's from Israel. I get it. Get it. I don't have to have these conversations with people. I'm friends with everyone, like wherever they're at. However, I just want you to think about these things. Like if you actually start to open up the Bible and read it and contemplate these concepts at a level that's, if you contemplated these things as hard as you contemplated the self-development concepts, and you actually really like dove in and applied it to your life would change. Who you are would change. Your essence would change. Like the difference between Christians and non-Christians, Christians and atheists, it's huge. It's huge. And everybody can see it. I don't have to say. So I'm not saying that, people who are like Buddhist or whatever are wrong. There's a grain of truth to everything. But the one thing that they're missing is the point. And I can't explain the point to you. You just have to experience it for yourself. And so, there's a point that's missing. And unless you really dive in and do the work there yourself and experience it for you, you're not gonna get it. And so I'm not gonna sit up here and like preach to people, but if you see a shift in my self-development coaching and the way that I do things and the way that I show up here and what I'm talking about, there's an evolution happening. And if you're onto that evolution, you can jump onto this wavelength with me. If you're not, that's fine. I have resources for you. Help you get where you need to go. So there is a collective awakening happening. There's so many different pockets and rabbit holes of different thoughts, schools of thought processes. I'm not right about everything, like no one is. But one thing that I know is that when I started to lean into the Bible and the text of our, like the founding document of who we are as a collective species in the Gospels, and my life started to change, my heart started to change, things started to change within me. And I'm not sitting up here, I'm not coming here to preach, but this is what it's on my heart this morning. Um, I start my morning with my Bible study now. I used to start it with the gym, and my life has changed for the better. So I come on here and I hear messages from people about what do you want, what's your desire, blah, 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 blah. Like manifest this. Oh, I'm in the go zone. Maybe not. You're in the people zone. You girls. Like you might think you're in the God zone if you are having things show up in your life that you want, but it's not, again, it's not about you. It's not about nice things. When will people understand that? It's not about traveling to Bali and, going all over. It's about what kind of impact you make before you leave this earth in someone's life. What impact do you want to have in someone's life? That's what it is. Like, that's what it's about. It's not about, your Prada bag or whatever. So, when you're out there coaching people, ladies that are in the coaching industry watching me, remember this. Remember that it's not about you. You didn't create yourself. You're blessed with the life you have. It's a blessing. You may have had a hand in creating it. You may have done the hard work and provided the structure and the roadmap. But grace was involved. There is something bigger than yourself. So pay homage to it, learn about it, learn its history, get to know it, like whatever that means for you. But don't do it because you want to make money, and don't do it because you want to come out here and sell it to people. It's about being real. I'm coming out here and like I'm just like talking my message right now. Like I want to share with you guys. Like if you know me, you know this is ridiculous. Like for me, truly, like truly, truly. And I'm wearing my Vigilant Inspired shirt today, so um, that's a cool story too. But that's for another day. And my uncle would be really, really proud of me, I think. And so would my grandma for coming to these, and their prayers are paying off. And this month is really difficult for me. It is my birth month. It's a bittersweet month. It's my birthday month. Woo! And it's Valentine's Day. Woo! But it's also the day after Valentine's Day is the day that my uncle passed away suddenly. And then February 23rd is the day that my brother killed himself. And then the day after that, the 24th, is the day that I found my dog dead. So this month is rough. And I need Jesus because I'm a dirty, dirty rock sinner and I've done some shitty things in my life and been a shitty person. But you know what? There's redemption. And I didn't come here to preach today. I came here to give a good word. So my good word is lean into your morning devotions. If you have one, if you don't, get one. And if you need an idea of how to get one, reach out to me. And if you're like, Lacy, what the fuck? Start with morning motivations, but maybe read one or two Bible verses from the Psalms or the Proverbs. The Proverbs would actually be the best place to start. And if you're like, ugh, well, keep watching. We'll see. We'll see. Open your heart a little bit. Open your heart a little bit, maybe. Maybe. And if not, that's cool. Whatever. Whatever floats your boat, man. It's your journey. Ain't mine. I'm just here to share mine with you. So have a wonderful day, guys. Ciao.